I've said it once and I'm going to say it again. When it comes to Lazarus, the main character and the biggest part of this whole entire show is Elaine. Without her, the whole entire team gets nowhere. We see that in the opening scene. Now, this Tower of Truth is essentially like a cult. She was there when she was younger, and they are completely against technology. They are against advancement. They don't like phones or computers. It is very similar to like the Pilgrims or the Mormons. Anyway, she escapes and she ends up one way or another getting contact with the team, aka Team Lazarus. I'm not really sure where this episode is trying to point to, but let me go ahead and give you a few of the updates. So they end up doing some more research and they get a tip about Elaine's old past. We understand that there's like a hostel. Like I said, it's very similar to like a Mormon community. It is not one with everything that's going on in the regular world. We know that Lazarus is a very progressive area and is future tech. Well, these guys, just like the Mormons and other type of people, they're set in their ways and they're completely disconnected from technology. They say to become one is you have to give in to the dragon. The dragon is the very precipice and is the main point of this show, because what they're talking about is an AI and it just goes to show that the AI integration has a background with our man, Dr. Skinner. However, the person who brought the AI integration is named Billy. Billy Perez is essentially the face of this cult-like place called the Dragon. That is what he is naming it, and that is part of the Tower of Life. So he brings in these members, he essentially brainwashes them, and as a backdrop, like I said, Dr. Skinner is another player involved. Now, Billy, he has bigger ideations. He has bigger goals, because as most cults we know, it involves one person at the center, that person being Billy. The MIT researcher, essentially he had everybody upload parts of this program into their head. Since this is a futuristic setting, you can kind of look at it as Elon Musk's Neuralink. Once he had that in there, they had a hive mentality and they were all becoming one. They all shared the same dreams. But since Mr. Billy is the one who is the MIT director, of course he was the one who was hands-on and he was able to manipulate these. He says you must give in to the divine. You need to give in and have full belief inside that dragon. With that, they have community dinners, and in the dinners they are drinking this mystical blue drink. That part really isn't important, but it reminds me of the Jim Jones drinking the Kool-Aid. So Billy has this community completely under their thumb, and it just so happens that Elaine is a part of that. So that is their way in. Once they get in, she knows that they need to be very malleable and manipulated. And with that, she is going to take Leyland. So Leyland is going to be the person that she recruited, and they are going back to that tower. Once fully indoctrinated at the Tower of Truth, Elaine and Leyland, they begin to drink the drink, and they do not get anywhere. The entire time they're playing recon because they're trying to see if they can find Dr. Skinner because he's associated with Billy. They don't. And as they are slowly but surely running out of ideas, Leyland decides to go Plan B. Plan B is he is going to infiltrate with all of his technology that he has on this person. Now, as soon as they are entered in, they take all their cell phones, their tablets, but Leyland is a super genius. He's the second smartest one in the entire series behind Elaine, and Leyland decides to use his wristwatch to bypass all of the security. They bypass all of the security, they knock out the power, and they go to the Tower of Truth, and they find the heart, and they figure out that is the dragon. So they use a USB port, and they try to upload it, and as they are trying to upload it, they are found. We get to see a little bit more humanity from Elaine. She has a true blood sister, Hannah, and then she has somebody who she calls her mother. That is not her true mother, but is insinuated that with the cult mentality, with the group think, that is supposed to be her mother, as Billy is the father to all of them. Again, without Elaine, this show does not exist. Every single episode has been her. Essentially, Elaine is the super genius, and then we have our man Axel who does whatever he wants, and Leyland kind of just gets abused as the secondary backup genius. Doug is the rational one. He's trying to see truth. He is trying to plan ahead, but without Elaine, the show simply does not exist. After they are caught, Hannah comes down to see her sister to essentially say their farewells, because she tells them the only way that they can live is if they are born again, and that is going to be through the fire. So in the morning, they are going to get sacrificed and cleansed of their sins. They are going to get burned alive. And as a last minute Hail Mary, she tells her, it's like, Hannah, I believe the same thing too. I'm in the same boat as you at one point in time. If you really want, you can come with us and you can see what the life is like beyond this field. Hannah runs off in fear because the day of sacrifice, the day that Elaine and Laylan will be cleansed of their sins, is tomorrow. And upon that day, we have a huge open fire, and they're going to get hog-tied and pig roasted. It is a terrible way to go. But as Hannah is running out of the cage that they are in, Laylan, with his quick thought, says, if you want to be brave, if you want to live a better life, there is a flare in my bag. The next morning arises and they're getting ready to be toasted up. And with that flare, she lets it off, signaling to the clan, signaling to Team Lazarus that they need help. Ironically, they are also fighting against the FBI, the first one to get there, the first one to do total recon and access all of the sources. Not too much to really report on this episode. It was a little bit better, had a little bit of action. We see that there are many moving puzzles. We still do not have direct eyes on Skinner, and we also see that there are a lot of curveballs that this team is going through. This is definitely being prolonged, and there is going to be multiple seasons. There's no way this finishes in one. The big takeaways from this is Elaine. Again, she is the star of the show. We know Axel does whatever he wants. He got these super cool quips and cool backflips, and he's just ready to go. He listens to nobody. He's an anarchist, and he just does whatever he wants. But at the very base, the ground up, we have to give it up to Elaine. But that's the review. Lazarus, episode 6. This should be closing in on close to halfway. But that is the episode. Comment below. Tell me what you thought about this episode as a whole. Again, without Elaine, the show doesn't exist. We did have a beautiful cutscene with beautiful music and a good transition. That's one thing that is truly saving this anime in my eyes. But that's review. Tell me what you think down below. Thanks to all the subs. We're at 250. Shout out to the most recent subs. And I will see you all in the next one.